Loyola played a well-fought, hard-fought game, and we knew our local rivals. We played nationally ranked opponents, and we play local rivals. And our local rivals are always great games, and they're tough games. And this Loyola team took us to the wire a year ago, and they were really ready to play and made the game very, very tough on us the entire game. I was proud of our players for staying the course. And what we learned today is something that you have to learn as a good basketball team, that how do you win when your shots aren't falling? It's easy to be a front runner when your shots are falling. How are you able to hunker down and dig deep, and find ways to win when your shots aren't dropping? Loyola plays a great contained man, a great pack line man. We shoot over the top. We shot over the top today, and we're not making threes. And at the same time, we were not offensively rebounding. We got beat badly on the board today. I thought our players did a great job in the fourth quarter, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. And that's really where the game changed in the fourth quarter. And Sonya Morris and Lexi Hell, Deja Church, those players really, Diva Kelja, those players just really put in a lot of minutes today, logged a lot of minutes, and it was a great win, a hard-fought win. I'm proud of my players for having the resiliency to stay strong through the adversity of being down 7, going into the fourth or late in the basketball game, and then turning that up from 7 down to 13 up in a short period of time. I'll let you speak and ask questions of the players, and then I'll come back and answer questions.
Okay, we've got Lexi Held here, who had a terrific fourth quarter and helped bring the team back. Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul has a question for Lexi. Jim, if you want to unmute.
Sorry about that. Lexi, are you able to differentiate what you did in the fourth quarter maybe differently than what you did in the first 3 quarters?
Well, clearly my fouls and stuff weren't falling in the first quarter. So I just tried to do different things with my team. I was able to get a couple shots around the rim and get to the free throw line. So I think that helped me to make shots outside.
Lawrence Kramer from DePaul. You want to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah. Hey, Lexi, can you talk about, you guys had this long kind of layoff between your last game and today. Do you think maybe rust played a factor into kind of the struggles in the first 3 quarters, and then in that fourth quarter, you guys were able to kind of get more of into your usual rhythm on offense?
We were off from games, so we definitely weren't off for practice. So I don't know if that really played a huge role. But I don't know. I was just glad we were able to settle in and finally play the way that we play.
We have a question from John Robleski from Global Traveler.
Hi, Lexi. Congratulations on a great game. Playing off that last question, being that you had a long layoff, did you guys do anything different in practice? Like, did you have, harder scrimmages or mini games or anything like that?
I don't know if it was much different. I think we were definitely paid attention to the things that we needed to get better at, and I think everybody was ready to kind of get better after that last game. So I think that helped.
Thank you.
I've got a quick question for Lexi. You scored 12 of your 17 points in the fourth quarter, and this is my 3rd year watching you now. You seem to come up big at the most critical times in a game. What is it? What kind of quality? What is it about you that enables you to pull that off?
I don't know. I just try and let the game come to me, and I know when we need points, I just try and do what I can for my team.
Great. Lawrence Kramer, do you have a follow-up question for Lexi?
Yeah, Lexi, could you briefly talk about just the team's 3-point shooting in these last couple of games against Louisville? You only guys made 4 in that game, and today it was only 7 and only 2 in the second half. Can you just talk about why the team has yet to click from behind the arc these last 2 games?
We've been working on a lot, trying to get shots that are more in rhythm in our offense instead of just off the bounce. So I think we're still working on that, but we want to move the ball and stuff like that, we're getting better looks.
Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul. Have you got a follow-up question for Lexi?
I do have one last question for you, Lexi. Are you able to share any thoughts about Kentucky coming up?
I'm always excited to play ranked opponent. That's kind of all I got for you.
Fair enough. Thanks.
John Robleski, do you have a follow-up question for Lexi?
Yeah, one quick one, Lexi. Being that Loyola is a city school, is there any special feeling about beating your city rivals?
Yeah, I mean it's always great to beat a rival. There's just kind of a different feel to it when you're on the court. It's definitely always going to be a tough fought game. So I've learned that my 2.5 years here. So yeah, it's always nice to come out on top.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the media for Lexi?
Not me.
Good.
Okay, if we're good, then thank you, Lexi. We'll bring in Sonya Morris next.
Thanks, Lexi.
Hi.
Hi, Sonya. This is Sonya Morris. She had a game-high 26 points, again, including 11 in the fourth quarter. So between Lexi and Sonya in the fourth quarter alone, they combined for 23 points, which led to that critical 15-0 run that brought DePaul the win. Let's begin with Jim Niendorf from We Are DePaul with a question for Sonya.
Hi, Sonya. From a player's perspective, are you able to talk about maybe what was different in those last 4 minutes than what was going on with the other rest of the game?
I think it's always just some more defensive focus when the game really is on the line. The last 4 minutes, obviously, it's important to take game, but those last 4 minutes is really crunch time, and it's really time to handle business. So I think that's what we did. We hunkered down and handled what we were supposed to handle.
Question from Lawrence Creamer of the DePaulia.
Yeah, Sonya, could you talk about why you feel like that maybe the team struggled in that first 3 quarters? Did it have anything to do with kind of the long layoff between your last game and today, or was it something that Loyola was doing that was causing you guys some issues?
Offensively, they forced us, like Coach said, they forced us to shoot over the top, and that's not always the rhythm of the game. That's not always, we're not always going to hit our threes. So I think they definitely tried to take us outside of that. We also I feel like they outfought us on the boards, definitely defended. They just came ready to play. They came ready to fight. They don't really care about us being DePaul, us being ranked. They're ready to play an opponent and a rival at that. So I think that's what it was, just really a sense of wanting to win. Who wants to win more?
We have a question from John Robleski of Global Traveler.
Hi, Sonya. That was a fantastic fourth quarter. Have you ever had a quarter like that?
I think so. I think so, but I don't know.
And when you're in the middle of that quarter, is it just kind of like, everything you guys do is just going right and you could just feel it like that?
It did feel like that tonight, especially defensively. We was getting a lot of steals at the end, a lot of important rebounds offensively. So I feel like at the end of the fourth quarter, it definitely felt like everything was going our way.
Thank you.
Jim, do you have a follow-up question for Sonya?
I do. I have one quick one, and I think I'm done. Sonya, how are you able to talk about from the psychological perspective how difficult it was with you guys? Such an explosive scoring team to kind of, bide your time, for lack of a better term, until those last 4 minutes?
Sorry, one more time.
Sure. With DePaul being such an explosive offensive team, how hard was it to kind of slog through the first 36 minutes of this game until you finally kind of got your opportunity there in the last 4 minutes?
It's always hard when you can't make shots, especially when shots that you make every day in practice. So I feel like we just really had to focus on our mental and emotional and just, like the shots will come, we taking good shots, taking shots we take every day. So I feel like we just mentally was able to fight past that.
Lawrence Kramer, do you have a follow-up question for Sonya?
Yeah, Sonya, now that you guys got back into the win column, now with Kentucky coming up, obviously they're another ranked team. Are you guys looking for that game to be another important stepping stone for you guys in this season to see where you guys sit with some of the other other ranked teams, considering you already lost to other top 25 teams?
Definitely. First of all, each opportunity to play a ranked team is just a great opportunity for ourselves and for our program. I feel like we just need to come ready to play. I feel like we will come ready to play. We learn from Louisville our mistakes, capitalize on our mistakes, have a good couple of practices, and just come ready to play.
John Robleski, have you got a follow-up question for Sonya?
I'm good, sir.
Thank you. If there are no more follow-up questions from the media, we'll go ahead and bring in Coach Bruno. Thank you, Sonya.
Thank you.
Thank
Sonya.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Coach Bruno. Let's begin with Lawrence Kramer. Have you got a question for Coach?
Yeah. Hey, Coach, could you talk about the play of Lexi and Sonya in that fourth quarter, especially the 15-0 run that they went on, and kind of just the different level that it seems that they can take their game up when you really need it in these crucial situations?
This was truly a game where you had to learn on the fly, learn through experience, to keep fighting when the ball isn't dropping, and to try to keep your mental strength about you, your mental toughness of overcoming the adversity and not making shots that you're normally making. And that's what this game was really, really all about. And I just thought that they both did a very, very good job. The fourth quarter we did. I mean, we were trying to make a concerted effort to get to the rim. I mean, there's not a lot of secrets here to how people play basketball, and I'm pretty well aware when people are going to make us come over the top. Some people make us come over. The interesting part about the last two games is Louisville ran us off the line, and we didn't convert at the rim. Today, Loyola made us come over the top. They dared us to come over the top and challenged us to come over the top, and we did come over. Took 37 threes and only made 7 of them. So, we definitely took our quota of threes, and we're not making shots. And so when that is happening, I mean, I thought the players did a really good job listening in the fourth quarter because we wanted to attack the rim. We wanted to get to the rim. We wanted to get to the free throw line in that fourth quarter, and that was really what they did. I don't think you can forget Church and all this either. Numbers probably aren't like Lexi's, Sonya's, but we started getting to the rim late in the game. Another factor here is that the pressure, when the pressure isn't instantaneous satisfaction, instantaneous results, you tend to want to, your human impulse is to get out of it. And I thought the effort that the players made in those first 36 minutes when we weren't making shots and they're still exhausting themselves over 94 feet, I thought that put a little bit of a wear and tear factor on Loyola. And you as a coach, when you play that way, always hope that's going to kick in at the end of the game. Sometimes it does kick in, sometimes it doesn't kick in, and I'm glad it did. I think that kicked in late also.
John Robleski from Global Traveler has a question for Coach.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. Nice win. With the long layoff from the last game and the possible uncertainty going forward, does that affect or change your practice strategy at all?
Well, first of all, the toughest part about the Louisville debacle from our perspective was losing the Xavier game. I mean, once we let the Louisville game get away from us, I was coaching our team in the huddles to beat Xavier on Sunday, and then after the game, you find out you're not going to play a game on Sunday. And whenever you have a tough ball game like we did against Louisville, you want to get back on the court and play immediately. And instead, we got delayed for a long time. So there's a lot of time for things to fester. Your question about practice is, Lexi made the point that, well, we were off for games, but we weren't off for practice. But she didn't tell you is we had basically 8 days between games, and we practiced 4 of them, and we were off 4 of them. So I think this whole COVID situation requires coaches to really, really think through your practice strategies and practice schedules. And we did give them off 4 days from the time we played Louisville until today's game. And we went for 4 days, and we were off for 4 days, not consecutively. We were off a couple, on a couple, off a day, on a day, off a day, to just try to keep the players' legs strong. And so, it does affect things, especially when we play like we play. But everybody's got to deal with this, and you just have to forge forward, and nobody's gonna care. I mean, you have to play. You can't make excuses. You just kind of forge ahead.
And is there any extra special fun in beating a local rival like a Loyola?
I'm one of the few people here in Chicago that have worked on both sides of this game. I was at DePaul, played at DePaul, worked at DePaul, and then I was at Loyola for 8 years. So I kind of feel like I know it from both sides. We have 2 assistant coaches that both played at Loyola. Lisa Wickbash is in the Loyola Hall of Fame, one of the all-time leading scorers and rebounders in their history. And Kate Salmon just recently played for Kate actor. So we kind of feel like we understand this rivalry from both sides, and it's a great rivalry. It's a tough rivalry, and it's a rivalry that I really I cherish our local rivalries. I really do. I feel unfortunate that we lost our Notre Dame and Northwestern games this year because that's part of not only local rivalries but nationally ranked opponents that are our local rivals. So our philosophy scheduling is really simple: try to find as tough and difficult a non-conference schedule against ranked opponents, and then play local rivals. And we've been playing our local rivals ever since I've been coaching, and it's great for the game. And again, being on both sides of it, against Coach Ray Meyer and some of his great teams in the '80s, and Joey Meyer, it was really fun to be on the other side, and it's fun to be on this side, believe me. And don't misunderstand that. When I say it's fun to be on the other side, it's only fun to be on the other side when you can pull off a W from the other side. I've been at DePaul for 35 years. I was at Loyola 8, so I think everybody knows where my loyalties lie. But I do have experience on both sides of this rivalry.
Thank you, Coach.
Jim from We Are DePaul, have you got a question for Coach?
I do. Coach, could you talk a little bit about the play of Darren Rogers and Kendall Holmes today?
Now, these 2 freshmen are really providing great quality minutes for us, and they're learning on the fly. And it's no matter how great a freshman you are coming out of high school, it's tough to learn on the fly. I always refer to Brianna Stewart from UConn, who won 4 straight national championships at UConn, was the most valuable player in the NCAA tournament 4 times. And in her freshman year, she still was getting benched by Gino in February, and still not playing very good basketball in February. And this is part of the learning experience that all freshmen go through. So for Darian and for Kendall to learn on the fly here and just get better on the fly, I think it's really, really important. And again, the theme for the day is how do you win games when you're not making shots? And that's what defines good teams. People that can win games when their shots aren't falling. And I think that's a lesson for all of us, but it's always a lesson for young freshmen that are used to making every shot they take.
Lawrence Creamer, have you got a follow-up question for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, can you, obviously your next game is against Kentucky. Could you talk about the opportunity to get up to play another ranked team, and if this game is a little bit more important considering you guys have lost your previous 2 games against ranked opposition?
Lawrence, it's just what we do here. We believe in scheduling the best we can schedule, and it became unfortunate that we lost 3 games of the Virgin Island tournament, and I think I've said this before, but I will repeat it again. I mean, we lost a Southeastern Conference and ACC in a Big 12 game, and we lost the Virgin Island tournament. And then we lost Northwestern and Notre Dame, 2 teams we had contracts to play here at DePaul this year. And those are, that's 5 losses against them. 5 not lost games, but lost opportunities to play against ranked opponents and really quality competition. So I really applaud, again, Lisa Wickbash. She's our scheduling person. She really, really went to the wall to find us games. And Texas A&M coming up here, I applaud them. All that went into playing that Louisville game. It's unfortunate we didn't play us any better, but still, all that went into getting that game scheduled from Dwayne Peavy, our athletic director, agreeing to get us flown out there to ESPN and the Hall of Fame, to the Big East, to Villanova, to Kent State. I mean, getting these games scheduled isn't easy. And then getting the Kentucky game scheduled, we were just thrilled to be able to pull that off and schedule this Kentucky game. And the way the world is working right now, you never know if a game's going to be played until you get in the gym, you actually see your opponent here. because in the world we are living right now, anything can happen at any given moment. So it's just one of those situations where you really have to, I'm looking forward to the Kentucky game. And Lawrence, what I teach our players all the time, we play these ranked teams to beat these ranked teams. We don't play them just to beat, just to play them. At the same time, I believe it's better to have played these teams. When you do get beat, you're going to be better for it as a basketball team. So the idea is to beat Kentucky. Of course, it's to beat Kentucky. But we are playing against not only a top 10 team in the nation, arguably the best player in the nation is coming in here. So we've got our hands really full. We're going to have our hands full on Wednesday. And we'll try to regroup and get ready for the game. And back to from a practice perspective, it's pretty hard to run anybody that played as many minutes as some of these players played tonight. They're not going to get a lot of practice time between now and Wednesday. We'll get some shots taken. Some of the players that didn't play tonight will get some conditioning work in. But the players that play a lot of minutes tonight aren't going to get a lot of they're not going to get a lot of practice between now and Kentucky. So that's why you play a tough schedule and grind it out in the non-conference and just keep it pushing game by game. So hopefully we'll be ready to be very competitive against Kentucky. And again, we play these teams to beat them, not just play them, but we'll be ready to learn. We'll be ready for Kentucky.
Any other follow-up questions from the media for Coach Bruno?
Not for me.
Good,
Thanks
sir.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for covering women's hoops. Again, probably Ball Club for staying the course and fighting through to the end to win a real hard-fought game that I really deserves a lot of credit.